Welcome to the Voice Room podcast, the number one destination in Asia for mastering your voice, speaking with impact, and showing up with authority. Hey, welcome back to the Voice Room podcast. I'm your host, Karina Tien, and today we are diving into a skill that can totally change the way you communicate. That is how to advocate for yourself without sounding like you are complaining. This is one of those essential skills that everyone from students to working professionals need to master. Whether you're asking for a raise, requesting for more responsibility at work, or simply expressing your needs to a friend, advocating for yourself is important. But here's the thing. Advocacy and complaining are very different. The key to being heard is how you present your message. In today's episode, I will break down how to articulate your needs, set boundaries, and express your opinions effectively without coming across as negative or entitled. So let's get started. Let's first take a step back and understand the difference between advocating for yourself and complaining. It is easy to think they are the same thing, especially when you feel frustrated, but they are actually two very different ways of communicating. When you complain, you are typically expressing dissatisfaction in a way that doesn't lead to any actionable outcome. Complaining often focuses on what's wrong without suggesting solutions. It can also come across as passive-aggressive or self-pitying. Here is an example of complaining. I've been doing all the work on this project and it's just unfair. I never get the credit that I deserve and it is so frustrating. Now, advocating yourself, on the other hand, is about clearly communicating your needs and asking for what you deserve in a positive, solution-focused way. Advocacy focuses on empowerment and problem solving rather than just venting about a situation. It also involves considering others' perspectives and engaging in a respectful, open dialogue. Here is an example of advocating for yourself. I've noticed that I've been taking on more tasks in this project, and I would like to discuss how we can ensure that responsibilities are more balanced going forward. I would also appreciate some recognition for the contributions that I've made so far. See the difference? One is focused on the problem, while the other is focused on finding a way forward. The second approach advocates for what you need while respecting the needs of others. Now let's take a look at the mindset behind effective self-advocacy. The first step in advocating for yourself is shifting your mindset. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim or feeling like you are asking too much, approach the conversation with a mindset of self-respect and empowerment. Ask yourself these questions. What do I need to succeed in this situation? How can I frame this conversation in a way that is respectful and solution-focused? How can I express my needs without sounding negative? A big part of advocating for yourself is believing that you are worthy of what you are asking for. Whether that's for recognition or for more responsibility or better work conditions. When you believe in your own value, it comes across naturally in your communication. Here is an example. Imagine you are working on a group project and you feel that you are doing most of the work. You could easily say, I'm doing everything around here and no one is helping me. But that comes across as complaining. Instead, you could say, I feel like I'm carrying the majority of the workload in this project. How can we redistribute tasks so that everyone is more involved? This way, you are not only advocating for yourself, but you are also representing a solution to improve the situation. You are empowering yourself and the team to work together. How about framing your message? Now, we have talked about mindset. Let's dive into framing. How can you frame your message? The way you phrase what you're saying makes all the difference. If you want to advocate for yourself effectively, you need to, number one, focus on facts, not emotions. Number two, avoid blame and focus on actions. Number three, be direct but respectful. Let's break that down. Focus on facts. Now, when advocating for yourself, always base your message on facts rather than emotions. This helps you avoid sounding like you are complaining or being overly dramatic. Stick to what's happening rather than how you feel about it. For example, instead of saying, I feel like I am always ignored in meetings, you can say, in the last few meetings, I noticed that I didn't have the opportunity to share my ideas. I would appreciate a chance to speak up next time. Number two, avoid blame. Rather than blaming someone or something, focus on actions and solutions. It is easy to fall into the trap of pointing fingers when we feel frustrated. But blame creates defensiveness. Solutions, on the other hand, encourage collaboration and respect. For example, instead of saying, you never listen to me, try saying, in our last conversation, I felt that my point wasn't fully understood. I would appreciate it if we could revisit the topic and explore it together. Number three, be direct but respectful. It is important to be clear about your needs, but always be respectful. Avoid passive language or beating around the bush. When you are direct and confident, it shows that you believe in yourself and your worth. For example, I would like to discuss an opportunity for a raise. I've taken an additional responsibilities and believe my contributions have grown. I would appreciate a conversation about how we can adjust my compensation to reflect this. How about avoiding common pitfalls? While self-advocacy is important, there are many common pitfalls to watch out for. Let's go over a few that can undermine your efforts. Number one, over-apologizing. Don't apologize for asking for what you need. You deserve to be treated with respect, and there's no need to apologize for advocating for yourself. For example, instead of saying, I'm sorry to bother you, but I really need more responsibility, try saying this, I would like to take on more responsibility in this project. Here is how I can contribute. How about being passive? Being passive or too indirect can cause your message to get lost. It is easy to say things like, I just think it would be nice if. Instead, be clear and direct, but not demanding. For example, instead of, It would be great if we could have more team collaboration. Say, I would like to suggest that we have more team collaboration moving forward, especially on shared projects. How about expecting instant results? Sometimes your advocacy won't lead to immediate change. That's okay. Be patient and persistent. Just because you have spoken up doesn't mean things will change overnight. But consistency and respectful self-advocacy will eventually lead to positive results. Now let's take a quick look at some real-life scenarios to bring all this together. Scenario 1. Instead of saying, I've been here for a year and I think I deserve a raise, try this. I've taken on additional responsibilities over the past year, including business management, and I've seen measurable results, such as increase in sales. I would like to discuss how my compensation can reflect these contributions. Scenario number 2. Giving feedback to a colleague. Maybe you're working with someone who constantly interrupts during meetings. Instead of saying, you always interrupt me, you can say, I've noticed that during meetings, it is hard to finish my thoughts because there's a lot of interruptions. I would really appreciate it if we could work on giving each other space to speak. To wrap up, advocating for yourself doesn't have to be difficult or uncomfortable. The key is to approach it with confidence, be solution-oriented, and frame your message in a respectful, positive way. Remember, you are not complaining. You are advocating for what you deserve. Thank you very much for listening to today's podcast. And if you find this helpful, be sure to share, subscribe, and leave a comment. And follow us on Instagram at The Voice Room. Until next time, keep advocating for yourself, and I'll catch you in the next episode.